Hey, if you enjoy these vlogs, just make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe or follow down below. I love doing them. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. 2 new ones every week. All right, for today's vlog, I'm hoping I got something a little interesting for you. We're gonna go through the walking trails that we have here, do some choring, and we're gonna talk a little bit about, I guess, my biggest lie that's been exposed by terminally online weirdos, and I guess I have to come clean. And I hope that you all still will stick around afterwards, because it is a wild tale. It's a wild tale. So let's start by we're gonna go and start managing our trails. Ugh. Get in my Kubota here. I don't have one of those fancy side-by-sides. Hopefully the audio isn't like super terrible. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a diesel Kubota. All right, so let's see how bad the audio is here. We'll hope it'll be okay, serviceable. So the internet is very, very interested in my coffee business. Very interested. And I don't know why. There's really nothing that interesting about it. It's really not unique. I know there's a lot of people that think it's unique, think that it's, the only, that I run this business like, I don't know, something different than any normal business. And we're gonna stop here at our first station here. Got to refill some bags. We have these. So we have walking trails that I mow everywhere for walking the dogs, and along the way, I have these little stations, these poop stations, and it's so friends and family that use the trails don't leave me little gifts. So I guess to start about the coffee stuff, I started the business probably 3 or 4 years ago, roughly, maybe 5, I don't know. I think 3 or 4. And it was something to, supplement my YouTube earnings, because the adpocalypse happened and, YouTube doesn't pay what it used to. It really hasn't paid the same for many years. And so many YouTubers, they had to diversify. They'd have to diversify their bonds. And coffee was, something that seemed like a lot of people were doing. And so what I found out was there's basically 2 methodologies that you could do this business. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out by name. I'm not going to put anyone on blast. But it's important that people understand the basics of what words mean. The people that feel like they've discovered something, don't understand even the basics about business. It's embarrassing for them. Like these guys, these anime avatar, flailing YouTubers, or, failed race car drivers and all this kind of stuff. They're really accidentally committing a horrible self-own in that they don't understand even the basics about business. So first, the one way you can do it is drop shipping. This is one of the common critiques, one of the dumbest criticisms of my business that's ever existed. So what is drop shipping? Drop shipping is very simple. There are companies all across this country, all across the world, that sell a product, let you put your label on it, and then make some money. They make some money selling it to you, you make some money selling it to someone else. It's that simple. In the coffee world, there's probably 5 or 6 facilities in the United States that do this. You buy the coffee for maybe $7 a bag, $8 a bag. You sell it for $12, you make your $3. It's completely hands off. They handle all the customer service, they handle everything. That is a true drop ship. White labeling is not necessarily a bad thing. It still could be a high quality product. In fact, there's even like VPN softwares out there that are white labeled. Bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that NordVPN sells white label stuff. all this kind of thing. It's a totally legitimate business model, and no criticism against anybody who does it, because generally when you're talking about like YouTuber coffee or whatever, people just want to support the creator and they don't really care that much about the coffee. This was one avenue I explored. I explored very deeply. I know all the providers. I know who sells coffee to all your favorite YouTubers. But that's not my business model. In fact, these failed investigators out like in Missouri and who think that they know anything, I've actually white labeled my product to other YouTubers. Now, could you imagine if my business was drop shipping? How could I do that? Well, it's because my business is not drop shipping. There's another aspect to the coffee business. That is, you could build your own, you could have the coffee roaster in your garage, and there are people that do that, but nearly everybody that starts out the way I started out. In fact, Black Rifle Coffee started out exactly the same way. Use the exact same facilities that I did in many cases. It's how you start a business. So you find a facility that roasts coffee, and you say, I'd like to buy coffee at wholesale. And they say, we would like to sell you that coffee at wholesale. So when it comes to me purchasing coffee, I look at the green prices on the market. It's a futures market, so you buy many months in advance. And it's complicated. It's some level of guesswork where you have to understand what your volume is going to be. But anyway, I digress. So first of all, this idea that my coffee company is dropship is complete nonsense. People who don't understand what dropshipping is think because I'm not picking the beans and I'm not roasting them in my garage, that it's somehow dropship. They're dumb. People who say that are dumb. Of course, I use a roastery to roast my beans. Of course. The difference is between dropship coffee and say my coffee is that you cannot get my specific flavors anywhere else because every one of them has been personally dialed in by me and the recipe is trademarked. Not necessarily trademarked, but it is, I can't think of the right word, but it's exclusive to me. So you might see a blueberry crumble coffee and say, I gotcha. There's somebody that sells blueberry. I challenge people to buy it and then taste mine side by side and tell me if they taste the same, because they don't. I don't use the same beans. I choose the beans. I choose the flavors. I choose the flavor levels. Every flavor of coffee that I sell goes through about 15 to 20 taste tests from me and my wife to dial it in right. I choose the level that I want it roasted from my roast partner. It's very simple. It's how every major coffee company has started. Now, again, I want to point out, no disrespect to people who do dropship coffee. It's totally fine. It's a totally legitimate business model. But my coffee is simply not dropship by any definition. I work with partners. It's like people would act like it's a gotcha that I don't print my own coffee bags in my house. Well, you might be surprised to know that I buy my coffee bags from a partner. A partner roasts my beans. A partner does a lot of things. My graphics, right? I outsource my graphics. Well, he's really an employee that does that, but I don't understand why the internet has glommed onto this the way it does, but trying to understand the internet is stupid. No one should ever do that. But it is dumb. There's no there, as Dan Bongino famously said. The truth is, these people are dumb. And they don't like me. They don't want me to succeed. By the way, you can pick up some of my coffee at buycbc.com. It takes you directly to our Amazon store. You can't get my flavors anywhere else. You can't get my roasts anywhere else. Now, you might argue, well, I can get Colombian beans from whatever. Sure, you can. Won't be exactly the same as mine. And here's another big gotcha. So this past week, these morons. So I showed a shipping label by accident on my live stream. And what happened next was exactly what's been happening for the last year to every partner that's worked with me, because these people who are supposedly against life ruination and messing with people's money, they're all frauds and liars. You know, failed race car drivers, you know, failed, comic books aren't how I want them. They're all failures in life. And they think they want everyone else to fail. It's the crabs in a bucket kind of mentality. But I want to explain, before I explain the big expose that happened, and then I've got a little tip later in the video to share that I think is pretty fun. Just some of what these people who just want the truth have been doing. They've been going through my garbage cans. They have showed up at my partners' places of business. They've showed up at their businesses and harassed employees. They've called the FDA. Of course, the FDA laughed at them because, again, there's no there there. They've called local food companies or whatever. They have harassed my partners, the people that make my bags, the people that roast my beans, harassed them, showed up at their places of work. Why? I don't know. It's extremely weird. It's just like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of things you could criticize me on. A lot. Okay? But this is like the dumbest thing, and they've really picked on it. So when they say they care about the truth, and when they care, they just really want transparency. No, they don't. They want to harass people, emails, phone calls. I mean, I have security footage of these idiots showing up at one of our facilities. People say, Jeremy, why don't you just sue them? It's not worth it. These people have nothing. I can't take it from them, and there's no point. But the fact of the matter is, my business model is very simple. There's really nothing complicated about it, but it's not drop ship. Simply not. Every other YouTuber that you're thinking of is drop shipping for the most part. But that's not what I do. I made the decision that I wanted to build a brand. It's the same reason I didn't call my coffee Liberal Tears Coffee or Coffee Coffee or something stupid like that, because I wanted to build an actual brand. We're close to being into Walmart, and it's I don't know why they want to destroy this business. You know, we have employees, they're trying to ruin their lives, and it's pathetic. And the people that are viewing this and like partaking in this and acting like they just care about transparency, they're lying, because I see the emails from my partners when they're harassing them. They forward them to me. I see the security footage when you idiots show up at our facilities. I see your YouTube videos when you're talking about going through my trash cans. All of this to do what exactly? Discover the truth? The facts of the matter is, this is a very dedicated group of people with nothing better to do, and I respect that. Hey, people get bored, right? I'm going to check this other one now. People get bored. I understand that. Ugh. But there's nothing there. The level of harassment, and I'm talking about, like I said, showing up. I have you idiots on security cameras. Showing up and harassing some random employee of a neighboring business. Is that normal? How did you think that was going to go? It is just the dumbest, most like, the biggest problem is the hypocrisy, to be honest with you. These people don't care about transparency. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about anything. They're not my customers. You know, they leave hundreds and hundreds of fake reviews on Amazon that all end up getting deleted anyway. It is, I don't know why they're like this, but I just feel like some of them are very smart, and then they could figure out like a better way to use their time. You know, like a more productive way to use their time, but they're not actually interested in that. They're only interested, check another station here. They're only interested in trying to hurt my business and my staff. So when these like failed race car truck drivers and dork anime avatar YouTubers and fake investigators from the Midwest act like they're really out there doing something, they're not hurting me at all. Every time they do something stupid, I just turn it into more sales. But what they're doing is they're harassing people that have nothing to do with me. Like just some random employee at a neighboring business had some fat loser like grilling him about coffee. You know, like that's what these people are doing. That's what these dork YouTubers are promoting. And it really doesn't affect me at all. It affects people who don't even know me. People who just have an account number. They don't know anything about me, anything about my YouTube videos, anything about anything. They don't know anything about it. And it's funny because obviously, as you figured out by now, this video is bait for those idiots who are just helping me monetize this channel. Thanks to them, this channel will be monetized in only 2 weeks because they are furiously trying to get some sort of information or get some sort of gotcha. Thanks for your help, morons. Keep tuning in. Here's the other big thing, the other big gotcha that, failed race car drivers and things like that, they think that they really got me. So there was a shipping label that was shown, okay? And so everyone thought, wow, this confirms that his coffee's drop shipped. Which, by the way, if it was, no big deal. But I have made it a point to say it isn't, because it isn't. If it was, I'd be making a lot more money. If it was, I would have made quadruple what I have now. If it was, I wouldn't have to pay staff to pack orders. Like, we did our own fulfillment out of Arizona with my business partner. We paid staff to fill our orders. We paid for customer service. We're not drop ship, right? So that's one of the dumbest labels that have stuck around. But last week, these morons found a shipping label and they thought, ooh, I got them. It's my biggest lie exposed right here, okay? Ooh, they got me. Well, the fact of the matter is, all they found was a shipping label from the company that I use to put my coffee into K-Cups. That's it. I roast 900 pounds at a time for a specific run. I send it to somebody who has a professional K-Cup machine that puts it in the K-Cup and labels it and puts the boxes all together. That's it. That's the big exposed. I hope it was worth it, dorks. Not my regular viewers, but the people that thought it was a big exposed thing. Yes, I pay somebody to put my coffee into K-Cups. And people say, but you were raising money to put your own K-Cup machine together. You were going to get your equipment. You're right. We did raise money for that. And we were going to buy a K-Cup machine. There's basically only one manufacturer, maybe two, and they both come out of China. I talked to the guys at Black Rifle specifically about buying one of their old K-Cup machines. I talked to other people I won't name about what they did for K-Cup production. And the fact of the matter is, the machine itself, the cost, was only a small part of it. Turns out once we got further down the process, you have to pay somebody to come from the machine's manufacturer, train your team, and then if it breaks, you have to know how to fix it. And we just decided, well, we don't really have the volume to justify spending $200,000 like buying the machine and then only running K-Cups for us. So then I went to my partners and I said, hey, why don't we sell K-Cup services, to other people? Again, all things that a dropship coffee company could never do, by the way. And so that's something we've been exploring. But in the meantime, it just didn't make financial sense after we got all the extra costs after the machine. So it was the machine, then like some food grade air compressor machine, and then training. Then if it breaks, who knows how you fix it. And we're still strongly considering adding the K-Cup machine to our arsenal and then selling that service to other people, other YouTubers, for example, to put their coffee in K-Cups, because that costs a few bucks every time you do it. But that was it. And in exchange for that shipping label, these people called and harassed a nice family-run business for days. They called me the next day. They're like, what's going on? These are the same people that are standing on the, I am against life ruination. I'm against all this stuff. They aren't. They say they are, but they aren't. They're happy to run with defamatory statements like some of these idiot YouTubers because it gets them clicks. And that's okay. Good for you. Now, at some point, the issue is they know it's not worth it for me. Like when you're a failed race car truck driver, or your YouTube channel is basically dead, you know it's not worth it for me to file some sort of lawsuit against you for defamation. But at some point it's going to become worth it, because I have all this stuff lined up, right? I can tie direct lines from these statements from certain commentators to real world harassment to their fake reviews on Amazon. Like, this would not go well for them. It's just not worth it. It's better to just say positive and not, so, these people were never my customers in the first place. So to summarize, we're not dropship coffee. We never were. In fact, we did dropship coffee for other people, which you couldn't do if you were a dropshipper, okay? I have partners that make my bags. I have partners that make my K-cups. I have partners that make my coffee, just like any normal business would run. You think an electrician makes all the wire he uses by himself? No, of course not, right? This business continues to grow, and I think that bothers people, but that's okay. Like, I want better for them. I want them to exist, but there's literally nothing there. We roast our coffee with a partner. We send it to get put into K-cups because owning our own K-cup machine was cost prohibitive at the time. Now, once we're into Walmart, then we're going to do it. Then it'll be easy. We'll have the money and the volume. It's really a volume thing. And we run our coffee business just like any other coffee business you see on the shelves for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing there. These people are so stupid and so angry that they are either really stupid, which is very likely, or they are really dishonest. Some of these people are not stupid, and they purposely say things they know aren't true because it's salacious and it gets them clicks and they get to monetize the hate against me. That's okay, but everybody knows that you're a hypocrite. Everybody knows that you're a loser. And when you do a long 2-hour stream reaction to this video, there's going to be a lot of people in your audience that see that too. So I'm looking forward to these people reacting to this video because, again, I have nothing to hide. My business runs just like any other business. And it's almost like, I don't know if these people are like Candace Owens level stupid, but they're living in this alternate quartering universe where my business is failing, which it isn't, having record month after record month. My YouTube channel is dying. It's the dead of summer and probably the slowest time in politics that we've seen in a long time. Like, everything that is levied has a perfectly reasonable explanation, but in the quartering extended universe, truth does not live. And they'll call this a crash out or whatever. It's not. I'm monetizing them. They're tuning into this hoping to get another gotcha. There just isn't. There's nothing there. They wish there was something there, but there's nothing there. And the hilarious part about all of it is that this will do nothing to dispel the defamatory statements or the libelous statements. It will do nothing to curb these morons harassing employees at a coffee roastery. It will do nothing to stop these people from harassing people at my packaging facility that I use, because they're not good people. They want you to think that they are operating on like truth and righteousness and that they're really going to get somebody who's been getting over on you. There isn't a single one of my customers that thinks I have an entire roasting facility sitting in my garage. They're caping for people that don't exist and have never existed. It's one of the weirdest, most pathetic, sad. Like, you want to go at my political opinions, you want to go at things I've flip-flopped on, you want to go after things that, like, you know, I'm wrong about. That's all reasonable, fair game stuff. But the idea that like these people are having any real effect on our business is hilarious. They really, 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 really want it to be. When you guys do this stuff, my partners laugh at you. These same people, by the way, you know, oh, life ruination's bad. Somebody got deplatformed, that's bad. They tried to get me deplatformed for Rumble. I have all the emails, of course. These same people, oh, going after sponsors is bad. I have their emails to my sponsors. They went after every single one of my sponsors, and I did lose a couple. I've replaced them since, but I did lose some. All because these same people who have spent the last 4 months building up this quartering extended universe where they're the righteous ones are actually the villains in this story. They're very, very sad people. They're very, very empty inside. And it's really depressing. You know, I really want better for them. And, you know, when they react to this video and pretend that there's another kind of gotcha or something like that, there just isn't. They're just mad. They're mad at the world. They're mad that, I don't know, things didn't work out for them the way they wanted. And I get that. But what I don't get is harassing people that I do business with, going after my sponsors. You know, losing sponsors, that's an actionable item. Defamation, right? They were emailing my sponsors saying that I was doing drunk ad reads for them, right? Obviously I wasn't. And my sponsors knew that. Not all of them. Some of them just couldn't deal with the constant barrage of harassment. These are real financial hits that are tied to the defamatory statements. You see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? It's sad, but you know what? My goal with Coffee Brand Coffee was to build something that is apolitical, that is a really good product. And I've done that. Do I think I'll ever be Black Rifle? No, of course not. But do I think I can grow it into a multi-million-dollar business? Yes, I do. There's new people every day who buy my coffee that have never seen one of my YouTube videos, and that really burns these people up. That's okay. I just keep working. And if you take anything away from this, is that you should do the same. If you don't worry about people who are trying to drag you down. Don't worry about the crabs in a bucket, because they have no power. They might get a little win here or there. Sure, they cost me a couple $1,000s on sponsors. I'll replace them, but their lives will still suck. Sure, they can spam negative reviews, but Amazon reviews them. Their lives will still suck. There's nothing here. There's just nothing to disclose. These people are pathetic losers who lie to you for money. It's a total and complete blowout. Anybody who's talked shit about my coffee company is a moron. If you don't like it, that's cool. Don't buy it. If you buy it and you don't like it, that's cool. Leave a bad review. But at least try it if you're a coffee drinker. Buycbc.com will take you directly to our Amazon store. Buy a bag to own the haters. I sure would love that. Soon we'll be in Walmart, and then they can take their pictures, their greasy little face next to it, flipping off my bag of coffee. That'll be just fine by me. Hope you guys enjoyed. Onward.